Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, you know this does not work without you guys. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. Wake up. There you go. You know, I have to first start out by apologizing because yesterday I thought it was Thursday. I lost the day yesterday. Somehow, some way, I thought it was Thursday, and I said, we already made it through Hump Day. We got a game tonight and everything else, and that kind of screwed up some people because, like my man Joseph Heatherly, thought it was Thursday too because he said he was sitting there looking for what time the game was on and everything else. And his wife said, "Did they move the games to Wednesday?" And that's when he realized that it wasn't Thursday. My bad. Now, one thing I always like to do is, and maybe that's what happened the night before I didn't do a fireside chat. I like to end my day outside reflecting. Sit down, maybe have a little taste, just a little taste of rum, and reflect on the day. And every day I like to sit there and think, did I do something to help my fellow man? Did I do something to make myself better? Did I tell everybody that I love them, that I love them? And go through and savor the moment of that day because once that day is gone, you can never get it back. And I enjoy sharing that and my thoughts with you guys. And I didn't do one on Tuesday night, so maybe that somehow messed me up for Thursday. But today is Thursday. But one thing that was cool last night, because I got into a discussion where somebody said, "Yeah, the people that have watched you in other countries were actually looking for like American Cowboys, not the Dallas Cowboys. They weren't really looking for you." So I put out a call to action to ask where people were from, and it's amazing how everywhere across the globe. I mean, we had Canada, we had Mexico, of course, everywhere in Texas, from El Paso to Dallas to Houston to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to San Bernardino, to LA, to the Pacific Northwest, Brooklyn, New York, New Jersey, all over Virginia, Washington, D.C., Florida. Um, I'm having a brain fart. Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, which has to be soldiers. So shout out to soldiers out there that are defending our country. Thank you for what you do in your service. Um, some islands I had never heard of. I mean, literally all over the place. And it's an amazing thing that Dallas Cowboy fans are everywhere across the globe. It's just amazing. Now, this weekend is actually going to be a big weekend, football wise. I always say that don't get too excited by what your team does in September or too upset because the cream doesn't really rise until October. You really don't know what teams are what until you get into October. And this is an opportunity for us to learn a lot this weekend because starting tonight, you have the Rams 3-1 going to Seattle. That's 3-1. Now, Seattle to me is rebuilding. The the Legion of Boom is really no more. They're reloading, rebuilding, whatever you want to call it. And you didn't look at them to say, okay, that's a Super Bowl type of team yet. The Rams are in a transition. The Rams, of course, just paid Jared Goff, and Jared Goff, quite frankly, has been awful over the course of the last 12 games. And they're seeming to transition away from Todd Gurley as the bellwether cow. We know that he's got arthritis in the knees, um, but he is not carrying the ball. And in a loss to Tampa Bay, that they allowed Tampa Bay to score 55 points. 55. Todd Gurley got the ball 5 times. And you can look at his body language and you can look at his demure. He's not happy about what's going on with the team. And that seems to be a marriage that is definitely breaking up. So one of those two teams is going to look a whole lot better than the other at 4-1 versus 3-2. Now there's supposedly thunderstorms that may be rolling through around game time, so that may be a weather delay. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I got to tell you, Jared Goff. We talk about Dak Prescott. The talking heads have been killing Dak because of New Orleans, where you know he had 220 some yards, no TDs, but the team didn't win in one of the worst places to play. And after having the first three games where he played outstanding, you are questioning whether or not he's an NFL quarterback. Well, how about we question some of Jared Goff a little bit more? Let's put him on the hot seat. You know, his rookie year, he didn't look like an NFL quarterback. Then you had Sean McVay come through and all of a sudden turn him into a much better quarterback with a great running attack. Now he doesn't quite have the running attack that he had before, and he seems to be exposed quite a bit. His last 12 games, check this out: 276 completions out of 459 passes, 60% completion rate for 3,107 yards, a 6.7 yard per average. 6.7. That's dinking and dunking. 13 TDs, 14 interceptions, and 12 fumbles. Before that, the 12 games before that, he was 66% completions, 3,800 yards, 8.9 average, 27 TDs, 6 interceptions, and 6 fumbles. Now, we talked about how Dak regressed. I'm waiting to hear that one. Because all of a sudden, that's not good. So this is a big game tonight for both teams. I think Seattle will get this one because that 12th man is tough. Now, I will say, though, New Orleans went up there and beat Seattle. That's a tough place to play. And for New Orleans to go without Drew Brees to play against the 12th man and Russell Wilson, that was huge. Of course, the Rams lost last week to Tampa Bay, 55-40. You let Tampa Bay come to your house and score 55. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. The other one that's definitely going to go a long way to proving where you are in the NFL is Cowboys versus the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, the first 3 games, offensively, the defense carried the team. Against the Eagles, Aaron Rodgers carried the team as far as he could, but the Packers were exposed as far as not being able to stop the run and not being able to run the football. I will say that the Packers more so lost that game than the Eagles won. Eagle fans, I know, will kill me on that one, but let's be honest here. You had the ball first down and goal with an opportunity to win the game, and they could not punch it in. They could not get it there. 4 pass plays in a row. Now, that's not to take credit away from the Eagles' defense that held right there. They had that Custer's last stand. They would not allow them to get in there. Hats off to you guys. But, yeah. You look a lot different if you're 4-1, Dallas Cowboys, with the Jets the following week, than you do at 3-2, having 2 losses in a row. And that's the same thing for Green Bay. Green Bay, if they can beat the Cowboys, lose to the Eagles, then that's a feather in your cap. You all of a sudden get a little separation in your division. So this game is key. Now, First Take actually had an interesting take yesterday on who has more to prove, Aaron Rodgers or Dak Prescott. And I actually want to play this clip because it's kind of interesting, of course, because you know the haters are going to hate. But let's go to the tape.
Rodgers will figure it out working with a first-year head coach. It's Dak that's trying to get his money. Aaron Rodgers got his. It's Dak Prescott playing for $2 million right now. $2 million. When you got, Carson Wentz in the division, never played in a playoff game, got $107 million guaranteed. Kirk Cousins is in the NFC North, got $28 million guaranteed. All right, Matt Ryan losing games left and right with Ridley and Sanu and Julio Jones, making $30 million. Okay, Matthew Stafford ain't won a playoff game in his damn entire career. Okay, this dude making $27 million. All right, but Dak Prescott making $2 million while his running back got $50 million guaranteed. All right, Leo Collins got his money. Jalen Smith got his money. But Dak Prescott, the quarterback for America's team, all right, and can get $2 million. $2 million. And oh, by the way, you just finished playing your first real game of the year against New Orleans, and you got held to 10 points, all right, and you lost to Teddy Bridgewater. And then now you got a home game against Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is the one that got something to prove? What world y'all living in? He ain't got nothing to prove against Dak. Dak got to show up. Dak trying to get paid. Well, Aaron Rodgers already got his money.
Rodgers has plenty to prove this year, but not more than Dak. We agree about this. Dak Prescott has more to prove than Aaron Rodgers because we know, even if there's decline in Aaron Rodgers, if there's some regression due to age or whatever, he's got to get used to a new head coach, a new system. We know they got exposed against the Eagles a little bit. They can't run the ball and stop the run as well as we thought. So it's kind of the same old situation for Rodgers. He has to elevate the team around him if they want to win a Super Bowl. Dak doesn't have to elevate the team around him. Dak has to play up to the team around him, right? And he did that against 3 bad teams. And the first time they faced the...
Hold on for a second. So he has to elevate the team around him, right? I get that theory, but did he elevate the team to a victory against the Eagles last week?
Good team, they lost. So Dak really has more on the line here. He has to show that he's actually, it wasn't a mirage those first 3 games. Even against better opposition, he can take that step forward as an actual elite quarterback. You're wrong. It's not just that Aaron Rodgers has nothing to prove. But in this case, Dak has more to prove than Rodgers.
Listen, I understand why you guys would say that because it is about can Dak Prescott go out and get his money, right? He was only making $2 million and all those other quarterbacks that Steve and they mentioned. And also you look at this week, now Jerry Jones coming out and saying you can't blame it on Kellen Moore. Well, why can't we? For 3 weeks, he got all the praise for how well Dak is playing. But it's Aaron Rodgers, and here's the reason. When they start questioning Aaron Rodgers, who I believe for the longest time was the best quarterback to actually ever play the game. Until Mahomes showed up. I thought that Aaron Rodgers was the best to ever play. Now we're questioning you. Are you being carried by the defense? Do you manage games? You know who we talk about as game managers? Guys like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a game manager. And so that's like saying, you know what, Kobe Bryant, we're going to compare you to Smush Parker. Do you know how mad Kobe Bryant would be about that? And that's what Aaron Rodgers is facing now. And then you go into last week where he has to throw the ball, where this Green Bay Packer team turned into the Mike McCarthy Green Bay Packers. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, you get us to the promised land. Over 400 yards. Devontae Adams goes off. But when it's crunch time, when it's time to make a play, he has 3 firsts on 1 play. He hasn't thrown an interception that late in the game. He hasn't thrown an interception in that type of position. He hasn't thrown an interception that ended the game for the team in that way. And so now you're Aaron Rodgers, and you are no longer the guy that we are looking at as the baddest man on earth.
Question about that, though. I thought Aaron Rodgers threw catchable balls. They were makeable plays for his offense. Now, they weren't the normal, that is perfect. That's a dime. But that's my point. He has to be perfect now to elevate the team. Do you think those were actually bad throws?
No, I'm not saying that they were bad throws. But if you watch Aaron Rodgers, there are throws that we have seen him make in his sleep that he is not making anymore. There are throws and times in the pocket. I see him let a ball go. I'm looking at a wide receiver, and I know that's complete. And Aaron Rodgers airmails it. That's not the things we are used to seeing from him. Dak Prescott, for as unfortunate as it is, we have put him in the box. And I don't know if Dak Prescott ever elevates out of that box. When you look at him in the first 3 games, we made all the excuses as to why Dak Prescott wasn't that dude and who helped him beat. Aaron Rodgers is now at a point where we're going to start talking about him as a dude who never reached full potential if he doesn't win this year.
I'm going to get on you, Money Green. I'm going to get on you. I am sick and tired of you being critical and disrespectful to Aaron Rodgers. It's been going on long enough, and I have had enough of you, Ryan Clark. And I'm coming into defense. I am coming into defense of Aaron Rodgers. Let me tell you something right now. 2 years ago, didn't Aaron Rodgers get his collarbone broken by Anthony Barr from Minnesota and miss the rest of that season? Then he comes back last year. Didn't 3 or 4 games into the season he get hurt again?
He hurt game 1.
Game 1, right? Game 1. So he was hurt the whole. I mean, I'm talking about he was really, really bad to the point where we had a debate as to whether or not he should be out there because he had been hurt. Nobody brings that up when they talk about Aaron Rodgers with a rookie head coach right now, with Devontae Adams and not much else. Geronimo Allison doesn't look the same right now. Scantling, he's got skills, but people have been talking about the no running game. I'm just saying, the brother for the last 2 years has not been healthy. This is the first time in 2 years Aaron Rodgers has been healthy. He's in a new system with a new rookie head coach. And we can't give him a break? We can't give him a break?
Listen, I love Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just saying we can't give him a break. Can we give him a break?
Are we giving Cam a break?
Can?
Are we giving Cam a break?
Excuse me.
So now all of a sudden, no. So when I was on here last week, it don't matter about your injuries, Cam.
Listen to
It
blasphemy.
don't matter if you're hurt. Oh, but Aaron Rodgers,
listen to the
if you're
blasphemy.
hurt, I'm sorry, Aaron. You're hurt.
Do I get to answer? Do I get to answer on this show? On this show, do I get to answer?
You answer
the
whenever. I'm a guest.
The blasphemy.
If you bring me to the house, I get to talk.
That is true. You are a guest. That is true because I use that all the time. Here's the point. Here's the point. Cam has never been Aaron Rodgers as a thrower of the football. Ever.
Been to the same amount of Super Bowl.
That's not what I asked you.
Didn't
You
win the
know
same
that.
amount, though.
Come on now.
Come on now. It's not your argument. You want me
Ryan
to jump on
Clark,
his behalf for the brother?
no. I don't need his help, but I appreciate it. The fact of the matter is, never, ever has Cam Newton been confused of being an elite thrower of the football.
And nobody's saying that. But what I'm saying is you can't change your criteria when you want it to fit your argument.
No. I'm saying that the criteria is not applicable to Aaron Rodgers when it comes to
Thank you,
football
Ryan
because
Clark.
we know he could do it.
Thanks for watching.
Oh my God! Thank you, Ryan Clark. I actually hadn't seen that part of that where they actually got into it, but man, that is the truth. That is the truth. Because here it is, they're making all kinds of excuses for Aaron Rodgers. Oh well, he was hurt. You know, he didn't have the same team. You know, this, that, and the other. With Dak Prescott, when he does well, oh, it's the team around him. He's not the one. He's a bus driver. And when he doesn't do well, of course, they don't cut him any slack. And that's the thing that's kind of funny because here it is, Jared Goff. Right now we're saying, oh, his offensive line isn't as good. They don't have Todd Gurley. People have found out how to play against McVay. They're making excuses for those guys. This week, everybody has been killing Dak Prescott. You look at the headlines and things, that Dak Prescott's skills are limiting on the offense. Come on, give me a fat baby break, man. There is double standards and double ways of basically talking about quarterbacks, and it's kind of amazing, and I'm glad Ryan Clark pulls it out. All right, guys, I got to get to work. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. I'll see you soon.